Hi, my name is Jordan Cross, and today we are going to be discussing the case study of West Virginia State Board of Education versus Barnett, and this occurred in 1943. So before we dive into our case, I want to talk about a related case. This is the Minersville School District versus Gobitis, and this occurred in 1940. So it was about two students by the name of Lillian and William Gobitis, and they were expelled for not saluting the flag due to their religious beliefs. Prior to this, it was required for students and teachers to salute the flag. And this family was from a family of Jehovah's Witnesses, and they believed that by saluting the flag, it was creating a false image of the flag, and they did not believe in that, and so they took it to court. And it was a long battle, but it was decided that the mandatory flag salute should continue because overall it strengthened the country and brought us together as a whole. So just keep this kind of in mind as we go through our case study. So the main participants in the case study is the West Virginia State Board of Education, and they were advocated by W. Holt Woodell. And then Walter Barnett was advocated by Hayden C. Covington. So these are the main participants in our study. So the main complaint was also by another family of Jehovah's Witnesses. They did not want their children to participate in the Pledge of Allegiance and the salute. And so when the students refused to salute the flag, they were threatened with a reform school. They were threatened to be kicked out of school and not allowed back. And then the parents were also faced with prosecutions for juvenile delinquency because they did not feel like they should be sending their children to a school where they did not have the religious rights that they thought that they had. And so when this case started to arise, the question of if the required flag salute violated the First Amendment arose, and also if students should be required to recite the American Pledge of Allegiance. And so that was the main complaint in the case, and so let's see what happened with the ruling. So it was decided after countless decisions and thoughts being placed from both sides that the mandatory flag salute should be overruled, overall because it was unconstitutional and that it did go against the First Amendment right. It was also decided that by eliminating the choice and option to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, that it was actually an ineffective way of creating unity in the country, and therefore having the right and the choice to recite the pledge was better off strengthening us than requiring it. So it was overruled, excuse me, and the family won the case. So how this has impacted the classroom is through the court's decision to overrule the 1940 Minersville School District versus Gobitis. Now students have First Amendment rights, especially in some shape, way, form. They do have a voice and they are heard now. Also in the classroom, students can be heard and their faith, culture, and family values are respected. And as educators, it's our job to uphold these standards and allow our students to have the freedom of choice when it comes to the Pledge of Allegiance and other norms that come with living in the United States. They should have the choice in being present in those. So by this overruled, they have that choice now. And also through this decision, the classroom has become a safe environment for all religious backgrounds and allows for the families to have a say in their child's education. All right, so my thoughts on this were actually really split down the middle. At the beginning, I was definitely for the Pledge of Allegiance, just because I worked for a school that didn't require the Pledge of Allegiance, but they required us to teach what it means, what the Pledge of Allegiance means, and what it means to be an American with rights. And so when I first read this case study and I realized that we were actually taking rights away by requiring the pledge, it kind of changed my mindset a little bit, because it really takes away from what the pledge is stating. As Americans, we have a right to choose, and we have a right to have our voices heard. And I was also thinking about other countries, especially Israel, who requires their citizens to have 4 years of military background. And that's just a requirement for being an Israeli citizen. And so, I was really thinking really heavily on that. And I was really thinking about how, immigrants who come to America are really looking for opportunities, and how the Pledge of Allegiance is showing our love for our country. And it was really difficult at first for me to get out of that mindset, because I am very appreciative for being an American. But I also, as I was reading this study, it really helped me see just how requiring it can really impact other families, especially those from different religious backgrounds as me, and especially those who are native English speakers, and what it can mean to really harm those families. So after this case study, it really changed my mind about if it should be required. I do think it should definitely still be in schools. I do not think it should be a requirement. I think those who want to participate should be able to, and those who don't shouldn't. I do think that it's very important to kind of teach about our rights and what it means to be an American citizen, and what that offers us as citizens of the United States. But I don't think it should be required at all. I definitely think that there should be discussions about it, and each student should be able to form their own opinion off of it. But I'm really, really happy that I have this case study, because it really has changed my thoughts on a lot of what we think are cultural norms here, which really aren't in other countries. And so it was really helpful for me, and it really helped me learn a lot. So that was very nice. So I really appreciated that. And here are my references for anyone who wants to go through and read a little bit more about the West Virginia State Board of Education versus Barnett, or the Minorville School District versus Gobitis. So please feel free to click through these references, learn a little bit more about it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.